12 most shocking archaeological discoveries found recently that baffle scientists. Hello, welcome to the latest video on the Ancient History channel. Dear friends, have you ever wondered, beneath the ground, beyond the layers of soil, rock, and grass, what else might be hidden? Of course, not gold or treasure, but secrets, clues to a past that was once magnificent, even somewhat chilling, waiting to be uncovered. Since ancient times, humans have always sought to trace back through time using the remnants left behind. But not every archaeological discovery is just a few shards of pottery or some ancient stones. Some finds, when excavated, have stunned the entire world. Scientists aren't just puzzled, they have had to reconsider nearly every previous theory. These aren't the kind of discoveries where you can figure things out after 100 years. They're the kind that remain a mystery even after 1,000 years. From skeletons twisted as if cursed, to massive structures far beyond the technical capabilities of their time, each discovery feels like a puzzle, a strange piece in the patchy picture of history. What's even more striking is that some of the artifacts on the upcoming list raise serious questions about our current civilization. Could it be that we're not the first civilization to reach the advanced level we enjoy today? Sounds intriguing, right? So buckle up, breathe steady, because right now, we're about to explore 12 mysterious and strange archaeological discoveries that keep scholars up at night. Let's dive in together. 2,000-year-old mummy still has hair and beard found in a Danish bog. Imagine yourself walking through a quiet bog deep in the peaceful countryside of Denmark. The ground is soaked, mud reaching up to your ankles, the air crisp and cool, filled with the faint smell of decaying plants and damp earth. Suddenly, a scene unfolds that would send chills down anyone's spine. A human body curled up in the mud, skin perfectly preserved, a calm expression on the face as if peacefully napping. Sounds like a crime thriller, right? But this is no staged scene. This is the discovery that shook the world of archaeology. The Toland man, the most famous bog mummy ever found, dating back over 2,000 years. It happened in 1950. A group of workers harvesting peat in the Bjeldskov bog in western Denmark unexpectedly came across the body of a man curled up, his head tilted to one side, and, most notably, a rope tied tightly around his neck. His expression was hauntingly strange. No pain, no fear, just an eerie calmness, as if he had been ready to meet death. The police were called immediately, suspecting a recent homicide. But the deeper the investigation went, the more unexpected the story became. Archaeologists quickly stepped in, and after a series of detailed tests, they reached a conclusion that stunned the world. This body dated back to the 4th century BCE, over 2,300 years ago. They named the man Toland Man, after the place where he was found. But do you know what made him truly extraordinary? It was the astonishing state of preservation. His hair was still intact on his head, his beard hadn't fallen out, and even his skin retained some elasticity. It was as if he had just closed his eyes yesterday, not been resting under the mud for more than 2 millennia. So what kept this body so well preserved through time? The answer lies right beneath him. A special type of acidic bog mud, combined with an oxygen-free environment, completely stopped bacteria and natural decay processes. Instead of rotting like usual, the body was naturally mummified in a miraculous way, like a priceless gift time had accidentally preserved. But the story doesn't end there, because the biggest mystery remains. Who was Toland Man? Why was he hanged? And why does his expression seem so unbelievably peaceful? Some researchers believe he may have been sacrificed in a religious ritual, a custom that existed in Iron Age Europe. Back then, people believed human sacrifices pleased the gods and would bring abundant harvests. The rope marks around Toland Man's neck, along with his curled, respectful posture, support this theory. But that's just speculation. To this day, Toland Man's true identity remains a mystery. He could have been a prisoner, a convicted criminal, or even a high-status individual chosen as a living offering for a sacred ceremony. 1,150-year-old blanket-wrapped mummy discovered in Peru. You've probably heard of the majestic pyramids of Egypt, hiding countless mysteries of the pharaohs. But let's set that aside for now, because today, I'm taking you somewhere completely different, the mysterious land of Peru. This is where a newly discovered ancient tomb was found right at the top of the Huaca Pucllana pyramid. And what's most fascinating lies within what was unearthed. Picture this. In the heart of modern-day Lima, there's a silent pyramid hiding secrets from more than 1,150 years ago. And now, that door to the past is slowly creaking open before our very eyes. As the layers of dust from centuries past were brushed away, archaeologists were stunned to discover the mummy of a woman, not preserved in a sarcophagus or ornate coffin, but wrapped in blankets. This unusual method of mummification had never been seen in this region before. But that's not all. Surrounding her were 3 mummified children, believed to be sacrificial offerings, a chilling yet not uncommon practice in many ancient civilizations. And this wasn't just another excavation. It marked the first time a fully intact tomb from the Wari civilization had ever been found at this pyramid. Some even say it's a major breakthrough in the effort to decode South American history. So who was this woman, buried with such care and ritual? Experts believe she may have been a high-ranking figure in Wari society, a civilization that flourished around the 7th century AD, long before the rise of the mighty Inca Empire. The layers of fabric and vines wrapped around her body weren't just for preservation. They also held deep spiritual and ceremonial meaning, as if each layer of cloth was a prayer sent to the afterlife. Remember that fake head image that recently made the rounds online? Don't be confused, that wasn't her real head. The head was made of cloth-wrapped wood, symbolizing the deceased, a common element in Wari burial customs. Beneath that fabric covering, there may be just a skeleton, or, if we're lucky, a carefully embalmed, intact body. Creepy to think about, yet oddly fascinating, isn't it? But there's more. Inside the tomb, archaeologists also found 11 jars of alcohol, a ceramic vessel, and 6 cloth bags, some containing corn and sewing tools. It's as if this woman was being sent into her next life, fully equipped with all her daily essentials. A detail that feels both mysterious and deeply human. At this point, the researchers have not dared to unwrap the mummy. They are conducting X-ray scans first to ensure no details are damaged in the process. And you know what? It's that very anticipation that makes this discovery even more thrilling. Because who knows, what other secrets might be waiting beneath those ancient layers of cloth? 400-year-old mummified baby, found in a noble family's crypt. Have you ever imagined that deep beneath the earth, within the final resting place of once powerful aristocratic families, there could lie a heartbreaking story, chilling in its sorrow, about a tiny soul who died before even having the chance to grow up? If not, let's travel back in time together, to an ancient crypt in Helmensott, a small town in northern Austria. This was once the burial site of the Starhemberg family, one of the oldest and most influential noble lineages in German-speaking Europe. Inside the crypt were ornate metal coffins, masterfully crafted and glowing with the patina of time, the clear mark of high nobility. But amidst this grandeur, archaeologists turned their attention to a small wooden coffin tucked quietly into a corner. No carvings, no name, just a simple block of wood, as if forgotten by time. And yet, inside that seemingly unremarkable coffin, they found something utterly unexpected: the fully mummified remains of a child, estimated to be about 1 year old, a toddler, buried nearly 400 years ago. Who was this mummified child buried among the elite? And why did they die so young? To answer these questions, German scientists did something unprecedented. They conducted a virtual autopsy using advanced CT scan technology, allowing them to study the body without making a single incision. The results stunned the research community. This little boy was likely Reichard Wilhelm, the first child of a new generation of the Starhemberg family. He is believed to have died sometime between 1625 and 1626. His body was miraculously preserved, with skin, hair, and soft tissue still clearly visible. This level of preservation is incredibly rare for a mummy created without the use of modern embalming chemicals. But the most heartbreaking part? The cause of death. Although the child was well nourished, possibly even slightly overweight, he suffered from severe rickets, a disease caused by vitamin D deficiency. His bones, especially his rib cage, showed dramatic deformation. Worse still, the CT scan revealed signs of pneumonia, a condition that may have ultimately claimed his life. At this point, you might be wondering, how could a noble child, raised in luxury, lack vitamin D? Isn't malnutrition a problem for the poor? Here lies the tragic irony, rooted in the social standards of the time. In 17th century European high society, Pale white skin was the ultimate status symbol. Tan skin? That was associated with common laborers. So aristocratic children, including little Ricard, were often kept indoors, shielded from sunlight almost entirely. The result? Their bodies couldn't synthesize vitamin D, leading to weakened bones, and when illness struck, they had little strength to fight it. A death not caused by poverty, but by misguided love and societal ideals. A death that reminds us, sometimes, love, when shaped by harmful norms, can take life away instead of protecting it. Today, thanks to science, Richard Wilhelm's story is no longer buried in the shadows. His mummified body, and the knowledge it provides, has shed light on a hidden corner of medical history and the lives of Europe's noble class. More importantly, his story stands as a quiet yet powerful warning that social standards, no matter how well intended, can have consequences far beyond what we imagine. 200-year-old frozen mummy of a woman discovered beneath the Siberian ice. In the bone-chilling land of Siberia, where the cold can bring life itself to a standstill, a discovery has just emerged that left the archaeological world stunned. A woman buried beneath layers of sand and permafrost in Yakutia has been found in a state of near-perfect preservation. Not just bones, but soft tissue, clothing, and even her boots were still intact. At this point, you might be wondering, how could a human body remain so well preserved for nearly 2 centuries? The answer lies in the region's harsh climate. In Yakutia, temperatures can plummet as low as -76 degrees Fahrenheit. It's so cold that if you threw a bucket of boiling water into the air, it would instantly turn to snow. And it's this exact extreme cold that unintentionally became the perfect natural embalmer for this mysterious woman. The person who uncovered this remarkable mummy was Dr. Elena Solovyova, a researcher from the Russian Academy of Sciences. At first, her team believed they had stumbled upon part of an old cemetery connected to Lensky Ostrog, the first Russian settlement in Siberia, established back in 1632. But the deeper they dug, literally and figuratively, the more their initial theory came into question. Upon closer analysis, the team uncovered several surprises. The woman was not Russian, as they had first assumed, but Yakut, a native ethnic group that has lived in Siberia for centuries. On her chest, they found a small cross, suggesting she was a Christian, most likely a result of 19th century missionary influence. Combined with the fact that part of her clothing had been machine-made, researchers concluded she probably lived sometime in the mid-1800s, later than the original burial estimate. And what was she wearing? Not luxurious brocade or elaborate dresses, but traditional Yakut clothing, fur underwear to survive the brutal cold, and torbasa, soft boots made from horse or cowhide, lined with fur inside. From these simple yet practical garments, we gain a vivid glimpse into everyday life in this frozen land 2 centuries ago. One sensitive detail. At first, scientists considered removing her skull for further study, but after much deliberation, they chose not to. Why? Because this was no longer just a skeleton. This was a nearly complete mummy, once a living, breathing person. She may have been a mother, a wife, a daughter, and she deserved to remain whole and undisturbed even in death. And you know what? This isn't the first time Siberia's frozen soil has revealed ancient secrets. Over the years, scientists have discovered well-preserved prehistoric animals buried in the ice, from dogs and wolves to woolly mammoths. And just earlier this month, they found 2 lion cubs that died 26,000 and 44,000 years ago. One starved to death, the other was crushed by falling rocks. It's believed both were abandoned by their mother. A sad yet brutally honest glimpse into the harsh realities of prehistoric life. From the Yakut woman's mummy to these ancient lion cubs, every time the Siberian permafrost cracks open, the past speaks. And it doesn't just tell stories of death, it offers vivid slices of life, of climate, of culture, of belief, and of hope once buried by time. So, what do you think? How many more untold stories might still lie beneath the eternal ice? And if you had the chance, would you dare embark on a journey to uncover the traces of the past in the coldest place on Earth? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. 100 champagne bottles, lying silent on the seabed for 170 years. Off the cold, dark seabed near Sweden, in a place where you'd expect only seaweed and sand to exist, A treasure trove just surfaced that's thrilling archaeologists and wine lovers alike. Over 100 unopened bottles of antique champagne, resting quietly underwater for nearly 2 centuries. The story began during a routine dive by the Polish diving team Baltic Tech. While scanning with sonar off the Toland Islands, about 23 miles from the Swedish coast, they came across something odd, a shipwreck. But this was no crumbled hull. The vessel was astonishingly intact. What really caught their breath was what lay inside. Nearly 100 bottles of champagne, 100 bottles of mineral water, and a number of ancient ceramic items of uncertain origin. It sounds like a treasure hunting film, but this is 100% reality. Tomasz Stachura, the dive leader with over 40 years of experience, said he'd found individual bottles in prior dives, but never a ship carrying a full cargo like this. Now, how did they date the bottles? The clue lay in the ceramic mineral water bottles. Each was stamped with the name Selters, a famous German mineral water brand of the 19th century. Based on their shape, material, and manufacturing technique, experts determined the entire cargo was produced between 1850 and 1867. At last, things started to make sense. Mineral water in those days wasn't just for refreshment. It was considered a luxurious medicine, common at royal banquets and carefully guarded in transit. Champagne? A decadent indulgence of the aristocracy. A hypothesis takes shape. Perhaps this ship was en route to Stockholm, or possibly even St. Petersburg, delivering wine and mineral water to serve the Russian royal court. According to historical records, in 1852, Tsar Nicholas I lost a ship in that region. If this is that ship, then the champagne bottles lying on the seabed for 170 years might once have been reserved for the emperor's own banquet. Beyond wine and mineral water, the ceramic artifacts recovered aboard may help trace the ship's route, its country of origin, and its intended destination. Every piece is a precious fragment in a historical puzzle slowly coming together. Yet recovering these antique bottles is no simple task. Though the discovery has been reported to Swedish authorities, legal processes, preservation rules, and international regulations demand that any salvage operation be carried out with extreme care. As Stachura stated at a press conference, "They've lain there for 170 years. Let them lie for another year so we can do this properly." The question everyone's asking is, can 170-year-old champagne still be drinkable? According to Lita Bester, director of the London Wine Institute, it depends on the original quality, preservation conditions, and how good the cork seals were. If the champagne was a high-end vintage, it's possible some flavor remains. But if it was a more ordinary bottle, today it might be nothing more than colored sparkling water. Personally, even if it isn't drinkable, its historic value is immeasurable. Just imagine holding a bottle that was once destined for a royal feast, lost to the sea for almost 2 centuries, and now in humanity's hands. Isn't that more precious than the wine itself? The magic ring on a 3,300-year-old Egyptian mummy. In the world of archaeology, you don't always uncover artifacts or stories so unusual that the entire scholarly community must pause and ponder. This time, in the southern area of the ancient city Akhetaten, the land once called the Horizon of Aten, now within the modern Amarna region, archaeologists successfully excavated 2 ancient Egyptian skeletons, dating back some 3,300 years. But the most remarkable detail isn't the skeletons themselves. It's a tiny treasure found on the toe of the man in one of the burials. This man, estimated to have been 35 to 40 years old when he died, was buried with cloths, rugs, and, quite intriguingly, a ring made of a copper alloy. But the ring was not placed on a finger, as one would expect. Instead, it rested on the toe of his injured foot. That peculiar placement has sparked a slew of fascinating hypotheses among researchers. Think about it. Why would a ring be on a toe instead of a finger? Could it be simply a piece of jewelry, or might it carry a special meaning, perhaps even a magical function in the belief system of ancient Egyptians? The cause of death for this man is also notable. He suffered severe injuries, with broken ribs, a fractured femur, and damage to his leg bones. And the ring was found on the toe of the very limb that was injured, a fact that supports speculation that the ring may once have been thought to function as a healing or protective device, according to the period's beliefs. Interestingly, this is not the first time such a discovery has been made. In 2012, archaeologists discovered another Egyptian burial in which a ring was placed upon a toe. Yet to this day, the reason why ancient Egyptians would choose to wear rings on toes rather than fingers remains an unresolved question. Did they regard toes as having special significance in the body? Or did the ring itself carry sacred meaning or serve as a protective amulet according to their ritual practices? The ancient Egyptians were well known for complex beliefs. They held that objects could harbor spirits, guard human beings, or aid them in their passage to eternity. Perhaps this ring was not merely someone's accessory, but a symbol of power, a type of talisman intended to heal or ward off misfortune. When people think of ancient Egypt, they often imagine pyramids, pharaohs, and gods. A 2,600-year-old tomb holds a strange silver hand. Back in 2012, a team of archaeologists set out to rediscover the legendary Sun and Moon tomb of the Etruscans. But instead of finding what they expected, they stumbled upon a strange treasure, what became known as the Silver Hand Tomb. This discovery has since deepened our understanding of a long-lost civilization. So, what makes this tomb so special? To answer that, let's go back to where it was discovered. Voltsi, about 75 miles northeast of Rome. There, the team was exploring the Necropoli dell'Osteria cemetery, which holds Etruscan burials dating from the 4th to the 7th century BCE. Though this region was once famous, by the mid-18th century, the precise location of the Sun and Moon tomb had faded into obscurity. Yet the research team, led by Carlo Cassi, didn't give up. They continued their search and finally uncovered the unusual tomb now called the Silver Hand Tomb. Its name comes from a startling find: 2 intact silver hands discovered inside the burial chamber. Most astonishingly, the left hand was almost perfectly preserved, a testament to the Etruscans' extremely refined craftsmanship. These silver hands are exquisitely detailed, with the palms open, and on the fingers, particularly the nails, traces of gold remain, indicating a combination of silver and gold work so delicate that only master artisans could execute it. So whose tomb is this? The archaeologists believe it was that of a wealthy Etruscan family, based on the tomb's location among others and the sheer volume of funerary objects found. The Etruscans were famed for their artistic metalwork, especially in bronze and gold. Though their origins remain debated by scholars, their legacy, particularly in the production of high art objects, is profound. What's especially intriguing is that, despite the unusual silver hands, they seem connected to an ancient funerary ritual influenced by the Greeks. Archaeologists suggest these silver hands might have been part of a spireleton, a type of funeral figure made of wood, used to guard the soul of the deceased. Such figures could resemble warriors or mimic the deceased person's form. In this case, the figure was shaped like a woman, possibly representing the individual buried in the tomb. Beyond the silver hands, the excavation also unearthed other fascinating items: purple threads used to bind golden buttons to the figure's clothing, gold spheres, amber beads, and bone beads, possibly parts of a necklace. Together, these artifacts let us imagine both life and death for a member of an Etruscan family. Though we still can't pinpoint the exact identity of the person interred, the Silver Hand Tomb offers a priceless window into a civilization gone by. Every find in that tomb, from the silver hands to the decorative objects, tells a story of the art, beliefs, and everyday life of the Etruscans, a mysterious civilization that we still cannot fully understand even today. A 3,000-year-old Egyptian girl was found with teeth growing inside her abdomen. Have you ever wondered, among the layers of dust time has laid over ancient civilizations, what's the most mysterious thing archaeologists have ever uncovered? And what if I told you that 3,000 years ago, in the cemetery of a once glorious city by the Nile River, scientists discovered something so strange it left even modern medicine stunned? Would you believe it? This story begins in Amarna, an ancient city that only existed for about a decade, but during that short time, it was the religious and political center of Pharaoh Akhenaten. The city once flourished with temples, palaces, and tens of thousands of residents. But what truly made researchers pause was a unique discovery in Amarna's burial grounds. Buried deep underground, the remains of a young woman, estimated to be around 18 to 20 years old, were found, dating back 3 millennia. That alone isn't particularly shocking, since ancient tombs like these are not uncommon. But when archaeologists dug deeper and examined the body closely, they found something very unusual near the woman's pelvic bones. A mass of tissue containing two fully formed teeth. Do you know what that was? It wasn't part of a normal body. It was a rare type of tumor called a teratoma. Just imagine, a tumor that can contain muscle, skin, hair, bone, and even teeth. It sounds like something out of a horror story, but it's a real medical condition confirmed by modern science. The Cleveland Clinic analyzed the specimen and confirmed it to be the oldest teratoma ever discovered, dating back 3,000 years. In the past, only a few teratomas have ever been found in archaeological digs, mostly in Europe and Peru. So why is the Amarna discovery so important? First, it opens a new window into our understanding of ancient medicine. It shows that complex conditions like teratomas existed long ago and occurred across different parts of the world. But more than that, it gives us deeper insight into the lives, health, and possibly even the rituals or beliefs surrounding disease in ancient Egyptian society. Today, medicine is advanced enough that we can surgically remove these tumors entirely. But 3,000 years ago, things were far from simple. With no modern tools or medications, this young woman likely endured a great deal of pain. Though Amarna only existed briefly, its legacy lives on, not just in history, but in medicine and culture as well. This city, with its mysteries like the girl with a teratoma, is like an unopened book, still waiting for more pages to be discovered. So what do you think? Could there be more stories waiting to be uncovered from ancient bones, revealing secrets about the people who lived thousands of years ago? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this incredible discovery. Don't forget to leave your comment below. The 4,800-year-old mother and child skeleton found in Taiwan. Did you know that archaeologists recently made a discovery so powerful it left people both amazed and deeply moved? They unearthed a fossilized skeleton in an extraordinary position. A mother cradling her infant child in her arms, her face gently lowered in a loving, tender gesture. This wasn't just any posture, it captured a sacred moment of motherhood, an emotion that transcends all time and place. And here's the most astonishing part. These remains are nearly 4,800 years old. The discovery was part of an excavation of 48 sets of human remains found in Taiwan at a site called An Ho, located about 6 miles from Taiwan's western coastline in what is now the city of Taichung. Thousands of years ago, An Ho was likely a small coastal fishing village. Scientists have found evidence that the shoreline has shifted significantly over time. Adding to the intrigue, more than 200 shark teeth were discovered scattered throughout the area. What were they used for? Jewelry? Good luck charms? Emergency rations? No one knows for sure, but let's admit it's kind of cool either way. The fossilized mother stood about 5 feet 3 inches tall, while the baby in her arms measured roughly 20 inches, about the size of a newborn infant, just like those today's moms lovingly cuddle. Scientists determined that the remains date back to the Neolithic period, the New Stone Age, when humans first began farming, settling, and living in permanent communities. Even more fascinating, the people of An Ho likely belonged to the Daban King culture, thought to be the first farming communities in Taiwan. These early settlers originated from the southern and southeastern coasts of China around 5,000 years ago. The Daban King culture is recognized as the oldest known Neolithic culture ever found in Taiwan. But if you think this touching mother and child moment only happened in Taiwan, think again. In Qinghai Province, central China, archaeologists uncovered another emotional scene: the remains of a mother shielding her child during a powerful earthquake. This burial site has been dubbed the Pompeii of the East because of its exceptional preservation. Similar to the famous Roman city frozen in time by volcanic ash, the image of a mother kneeling with her arms outstretched, protecting her child, is profoundly moving, even in the form of fragmented bones thousands of years old. These discoveries remind us that, even after millennia, the love between a mother and child remains a sacred, eternal bond. Today's moms and even modern-day dadfluencers can deeply relate to this ancient mother's instinct to do just one thing: protect her child. It just goes to show, science isn't only about numbers, tools, and data. It's also about stories, about human emotion, about life, and sometimes it's about quiet, miraculous moments like a mother holding her baby. That's what makes archaeology so endlessly fascinating. It helps us better understand not just the past, but also ourselves, our roots, and the timeless value of human connection. Limestone coffin. Beneath ancient church. Could the final mystery of Santa Claus be uncovered soon? A quiet morning in Demre, an ancient city in Antalya province, Turkey, suddenly became the center of global attention when a groundbreaking archaeological discovery was announced. A limestone coffin buried deep beneath the grounds of St. Nicholas Church, and the person believed to be inside? St. Nicholas himself, the real-life figure who inspired the modern-day image of Santa Claus. It sounds like something out of a fairy tale mixed with mythology, but archaeological evidence is slowly bringing us closer to uncovering a historical truth that has been buried for thousands of years. Imagine standing within the cold, ancient stone walls of this church. Beneath your feet lies the possible resting place of one of humanity's most legendary figures. Doesn't that give you chills? St. Nicholas Church isn't just a sacred Christian pilgrimage site. It's also where this thrilling quest for answers begins. Under the direction of Associate Professor Ebru Fatma Funduk from Hatay Mustafa Kemal University, a team of archaeologists working as part of the Legacy of the Future project, supported by Turkey's Ministry of Culture and Tourism, has been following the historical trail for over 35 years. Now, they may have finally reached what previous generations only dreamed of: a limestone sarcophagus measuring about 6.5 feet long, buried nearly 6.5 feet beneath the floor of a two-story annex of the church. And this is no ordinary tomb. With a raised lid and sloped roof, architectural features typical of the region, this coffin indicates it was made for someone of great importance. Fragments of clay oil lamps and animal bones found nearby further suggest that this was a ceremonial burial site, likely for someone revered, perhaps even considered sacred. Can you feel the excitement, knowing that every piece of earth, every shard of pottery beneath our feet could be part of a forgotten story waiting to be told? So who was St. Nicholas, and how did he become the model for Santa Claus? Far from the jolly, red-suited man flying on a sleigh with reindeer, St. Nicholas was a 4th century bishop known for his generosity and secret gift-giving to the poor, a legacy that evolved over centuries into the Western cultural icon of Christmas we know today. About 20 years after his death, Eastern Roman Emperor Theodosius II ordered the construction of a church at the site of his burial to honor his memory. That very church is where this limestone coffin has now been discovered. But the story doesn't end there. Throughout Europe's turbulent history, the remains of St. Nicholas are believed to have been relocated. In the 11th century, many accounts claimed his relics were moved to Bari, in southern Italy, where they were enshrined in a grand basilica. Another portion was allegedly taken to Venice during the Crusades and kept in the San Niccolò al Lido monastery. Interestingly, in 1953, researchers analyzed bone fragments from both locations and found that they could plausibly belong to the same person. Still, science has yet to definitively prove that either set of remains belongs to the St. Nicholas. So, what makes this discovery in Demre so significant? It may represent the first time original physical evidence has been found at the site believed to be St. Nicholas's original burial place. Archaeologists are now working to uncover inscriptions, artifacts, and to apply precise dating techniques to confirm the identity of the remains. If successful, this discovery could completely reshape how we view one of the world's most enduring legends, and perhaps confirm the existence of a cultural icon long believed to be half real, half fictional. Doesn't it give you goosebumps to think that behind the cheerful image of Santa Claus handing out gifts lies the real story of a humble bishop who quietly helped the poor and has been venerated for over a millennium? And now, we may be standing at the edge of a discovery that could rewrite part of that history. The excavation is still ongoing. The dust of time still covers the limestone coffin buried beneath Demre. But with every strike of the shovel, every handful of earth removed, this is more than archaeology. It's a journey back to the roots of a legend. Who knows? Even as you read this, a new chapter of the story might be unfolding right beneath our feet. A unique treasure hidden deep inside a mysterious black pit. In Baoding City, Hebei Province, China, there is a mountain less than 1,000 feet above sea level. At the foot of this mountain lies a small village called Lang. Many believe that most sites around Lang are related to ancient tombs, and Lang Village is no exception. This village has been guarding tombs for generations. However, over time, the villagers themselves lost track of where the tombs were or who the owners were. In 1968, while constructing a shelter here, a group of workers began blasting rock on the mountain. However, the explosion was unusual. It produced a sharp drum-like sound. Even more surprising, after the blast, except for a small amount of scattered gravel, the large rocks had disappeared. After the explosive settled, the workers looked closer and discovered a large black pit on the mountain. It turned out that all the big rocks had fallen into this pit. Realizing this strange pit might be hiding an ancient tomb, the construction workers immediately reported it to local authorities. Soon after, archaeologists, historians, and even biologists gathered in Lang village to begin a large-scale excavation. After 3 months of digging and excavation, archaeologists confirmed that this was a Han Dynasty tomb, more than 2,000 years old. The tomb was grand in scale, befitting an emperor. Its owner was Liu Sheng, Prince Jing of Zhongshan, who lived in 113 BC. He was the first vassal prince of the Zhongshan Kingdom, a vassal state under the Han Dynasty. Prince Jing of Zhongshan is also famous as a direct ancestor of Liu Bei, the founding emperor of the Shu Han during the Three Kingdoms period. Liu Sheng was the 9th son of Emperor Jing of Han, the 6th emperor of the Han Dynasty. In 154 BC, Liu Sheng was appointed Prince of Zhongshan by Emperor Jing and ruled over Zhongshan. At the site, archaeologists found over 10,000 cultural relics, including ancient coins estimated to weigh several tons. Among them were more than 4,000 exquisitely crafted artifacts made of gold, silver, bronze, and jade. However, among thousands of artifacts, 3 unique treasures excited experts the most. These treasures even shocked the world because of their value and near impossibility to replicate or copy. These 3 treasures are the golden jade armor. This precious armor was a symbol of the high status of the tomb's occupant during the Han Dynasty. Historical records show that over 2,000 years ago, Han emperors believed that jade could preserve the body of the deceased from decay. Thus, jade was a crucial symbol of noble status and was commonly included as burial objects in elaborate tombs. The golden jade armor was primarily made of gold and jade. In fact, different armors were crafted according to the wearer's rank, using gold, silver, or bronze thread. The process of creating this jade and gold armor was extremely complex, costly, and time-consuming. The Changxin lamp. This lampstand, more than 2,000 years old, is considered more valuable than most gold, silver, and jade vessels found in Prince Jing's tomb. The reason is simple. It was crafted with incredible finesse. The lampstand is shaped like a kneeling palace maid, holding a lamp in one hand while the other hand shields the flame from the wind. This design was revolutionary. It could absorb oil smoke, reduce air pollution, and at the same time enhance the lamp's artistic and elegant appearance. Furthermore, the technique used to cast this bronze lamp was very intricate and unique. The lamp is called Changxin because it has 65 characters inscribed on its base, recording the lamp's power, weight, and owner. The name Changxin refers to the Changxin Palace of the Han Dynasty. The gilded bronze incense burner. The bronze incense burner from Prince Jing's tomb is cast in the shape of a mountain, both unique and exquisite. Its outer surface is gilded with gold. Experts were amazed by its beauty and rarity, stating that this more than 2,000-year-old bronze incense burner was crafted with extreme complexity. It is truly a treasure difficult to fake or reproduce. Today, these 3 treasures have been recognized as national treasures and are displayed at the Hubei Provincial Museum in China. If you ever have the chance to visit, don't miss seeing these 3 mysterious treasures. A 3,000-year-old hair strand reveals a truth about ancient Europeans. When people think of the Bronze Age, many imagine primitive metal tools, a lifestyle still tied to hunting and gathering, or vague legends about ancient tribes. But have you ever imagined that more than 3,000 years ago, our ancestors, people living in those distant times, already knew about drugs? Not just speculation or indirect evidence like residue traces on ancient pottery, but direct, clear proof found in their very hair strands. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, yet this is a groundbreaking discovery recently published in the journal Scientific Reports. It all began with a cave on the island of Menorca, the gem of Spain nestled in the heart of the Mediterranean. This cave, called Es Carrots, was accidentally discovered by explorers in 1995. However, it wasn't until years later that archaeologists started peeling back the dusty veil of time covering the site. They found the remains of over 200 individuals, a number large enough to confirm that this was once a long-term living community. What shocked them even more than the human bones or artifacts were the finely crafted wooden boxes, carefully sealed, containing bundles of red hair. No one imagined that those strands of hair would rewrite part of human history. Using ultra-high-resolution mass spectrometry, researchers detected traces of atropine, scopolamine, and ephedrine in the hair, 3 compounds known to cause hallucinations, stimulate the nervous system, and alter states of consciousness. To put it simply, these are substances commonly found in natural drugs. What's fascinating is that these compounds could not have entered the body naturally unless the individuals intentionally consumed them. Moreover, tests showed that these people had been using these substances over a long period, at least a year, ruling out accidental or one-time use. So, what were they using them for? Of course, we can't travel back in time to ask them, but researchers propose a compelling hypothesis. These hallucinogenic substances may have been used in religious rituals, guided by ancient shamans. Within the mystical space of the cave, under the flickering light of fires and the echo of ceremonial drums, these ancient people might have sought to communicate with the other world, or search for answers from the gods by altering their states of awareness. This discovery not only opens a new chapter in the history of European archaeology, but also raises profound questions about the complexity of our ancestors' spiritual lives. Perhaps humans have always harbored a deep desire to understand themselves and the universe, even while they were still crafting tools from stone. And if that is true, then the spiritual history of humankind may be far longer and more mysterious than we ever imagined. Dear friends, so we've just explored together 12 recent archaeological discoveries that are both mysterious and chilling, findings that even scientists struggle to explain. From ancient relics to strange pieces of evidence, each discovery tells its own unique story, pushing the boundaries of our understanding of human history. What truly lies hidden within these relics? What other secrets might we uncover in the future? Without a doubt, these mysteries will continue to inspire researchers endlessly, while remaining unanswered questions for all of us. What do you think about these discoveries? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss out on more exciting videos to come. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next videos.